Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Faiz Farhan bin Zakaria. Student ID 24233. Okay, firstly, I would like to brief about selection, which is if-else statement. Okay, from this flowchart, we can understand that if the user put an input with value 40 or any value greater than 40, the program will execute pass. If the user put a value which is less than 40, the program will execute fail. Okay, beside this greater than or equal to operator, this operator, the user also can use this operator like this table. Okay, I would like to show you some of my codes. Okay, my code basically will calculate the parking charge, which is first hour for first 1 hour is 2 ringgit and 50 cent. Next 1 hour will be 2 ringgit and 25 cent, and the other and until the last charge, which is 1 ringgit and 25 cent. Firstly, my program prompt the user to put their name, then prompt the user to enter the duration of parking in hours. My first if-else statement will be functioning if the user put a value which is 0 or less than 0, which is negative number, the program will print invalid value. Next, if the user put the value of 1, the charge will be calculated as 2 ringgit and 50 cent. Then, if the user put a value of 2, the charge will be 2 ringgit and 50 cent plus 2 ringgit and 25 cent. Next, if the user put a value of 3, the charge will be 2 ringgit 50 cent plus 2 ringgit and 25 cent plus 2 ringgit. Next, if the value user put is 4, the charge will be 2 ringgit and 50 cent plus 2 ringgit and 25 cent plus 2 ringgit plus 1 ringgit and 75 cent. If the user put the value of 5, the charge will be calculated as 2 ringgit and 25 cent. The charge will be calculated as 2 ringgit and 50 cent plus 2 ringgit and 25 cent plus 2 ringgit plus 1 ringgit and 75 cent plus 1 ringgit and 50 cent. And then lastly, if the user put the value put the other value which is not negative value and not all this value, which is 1 until 5, the charge will be 2 ringgit and 50 cent plus 2 ringgit and 25 cent plus 2 ringgit plus 1 ringgit and 75 cent plus 1 ringgit and 50 cent plus the duration hours will be minus with 5, which is the first 5 hours, and the value will be multiplied with 1 ringgit and 25 cent. Lastly, the program will print your charge is the total value that has been rounded off in 2 decimal places. Okay, I will put my name, then I will put some negative value. Okay, next, put my name. Okay, I will put my name. Let's say I will put 3 hours. Okay, the calculated value is 6 ringgit and 75 cent. And lastly, I'll put value of, let's say, 10 hours. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Qayyum Ramli. My student ID is 24283, and today I will explain the repetition loops for this program. So in this program, it will prompt the user to enter a student ID, the mark for test 1, test 2, and test 3, and it will total the total of all the tests, and it will average it. It will ask for three different persons, for three different students, and then it will average the total of the three students. So for this repetition for loop, uh, we need to have a loop body in order for the loop to occur. So in order to initialize the loop body, so this one is for the initialization. So it will start the loop from the integer of 1, and this one is for the testing. So it will stop when it reach the limit. So for the third condition, it will increase the input by 1, increment by 1 for each step. So for in the loop, I had in this program there is three equations. So this one, it will prompt the user to enter his ID, and then inside the nested for loops there is another for loop. So this one, it also had its own loop body. So in this loop body, it will ask the user to enter his first mark for the test 1, and then it will only stop when it reach the increment, when it reach the test 3. Since I had put it here, it will stop when the value input is smaller than or equals to 3. So the increment will be done plus by one until it will reach test 1, test 2, and test 3. So for the in the loop body, there is this is in the loop body. So it will first prompt the user to enter the test mark. So this one will change step by step from test 1, test 2, and test 3. So after the user enter the mark, it will save the data, and then it will count the total for the mark, and then after it had finished, it will average the total input, and then it will display the individual average for each user. So after after the user had input three different persons with three different marks for each test, the program will end, and it will show the class average by summing up all the test marks average and divide it by 3. So that's all for the program, and now we shall run the program. And for the first one, student, we just enter the ID, and for the mark, we just enter some random mark, and it will average the total of all the inputs. And then for the second student, and lastly for the last student. So after all of this is done, it will show that all of that, for each individual, it will sum up all individual average and then divide by 3. Then it will show the class average. So that's all for this program, and with that, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ilman bin Muhammad Yasin. ID number is 24218 and program from Mechanical Engineering. So in this chapter we will learn about function, and the first is about the function with a return value, and second is about void function. So introduction to function is divide and conquer. Function is like we divide and conquer. We construct a program from a smaller piece or component. Each of the small piece is manageable than the original program. and user defined function. For value returning function, we have a return type, which is we use to return the statement, and for the void function, it is do not have a return type, so we do not use the return statement to return a value. So we will see how we coding a function return value. So for the format is we have the function header, we have the function body, which is enclosed by the curly bracket, which is braces, and we have the return value type, which is like integer of float, and function name, and the bracket with parameter list. So we will see the coding of the program for the value returning function. We are using this for the function returning value program. We will see how it is working. So we use the integer global value 50, and we have the function name it as integer. I mean the return value type is integer, and then we name it as print value, and the parameter list is integer value. So we assign the value is 200, and the output the value in function supposed to be is 200, and the global value in function supposed to be 250. And for the main body program, we assign the integer value is 100, and we call the function back, which is print value, and the output is supposed to the output of the value in main, which is for the main body program, supposed to be is 200, and the global value in main is 50. So we will see the value in function, which is in the function is 200, and the global value at the function is 50. And it is same with the main body program. The value in main is 200, and the global value in main is 50. It is because the return value type, we return back the value 200 to the main body program. We use 200 value into the main body program. So then we see how the void function. So like before, the difference between void and function is void do not have a return value type. So we do not use return statement to return a value. So the function for the void is to do a sequence instruction and do not return a value to the caller. So we see the program for the void function. For the void function, we return type value we use is a value type which used to void, and the name for the function is calculate, and the parameter list is integer ampersand num1 and integer ampersand num2. So in this function we used to calculate num1 plus 7 and num2 is times with 7. In the main body program, we assign the integer value for num1 is 50, and integer value num2 is same is 50. So we call the void function back, calculate num1 num2, and see the result is. So the result is for the num1 is 57, and for the num2 is 350. But in this function, we can have more than one function with one body program. In this program, we will use more than one function. In this case, we use in this case we have function name as calculate and function name as cubic. For the cubic, we use to num1 multiply by num1 multiply by num1. So in the main body program, we call the function for the calculate, and we call the function for the cubic, and we see the result. This is the result for the num1 is 57, and for the num2 is 250, and the result for the cubic is 185193. How we get 185193 is because in calculate, the num1 is updated to 57, and it will assign to the num1 in the function for the cubic to 57, multiply 57 and multiply 57, so that we get the result. So that we get the result is 185193. So this is the end for the chapter we will discuss. So thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So my name is Zuhair Amin Bisharil. My ID number 24252 from Mechanical Engineering Department. And today I'm going to make a video or explain about a topic that called function passing by reference from our courses, which is structure programming database system. So I'm going to explain, and in this video I'm going to give a short brief about this topic. So what is function? Firstly, I will go through the definition and all the concept about this topic. What is function? Uh, function we can relate it with a concept which is divide and conquer concept. So what is divide and conquer concept? In a program, we have a very long program. So which if we use this function, we will divide the program into a smaller pieces or components, and we will construct. Then we will execute the program from a smaller pieces and components. So the advantage from this function, uh, we we can make it the program more manageable and easier for the user. So what is function by passing by reference? Function passing by reference is function that can be directly access the data, and the changes will affect the original. For the parameter for argument for this reference, a percent is used to signify a reference. Example, nint y equal to a% x, and a change to y will now affect x as well. So I will show you guys a program, a very short program, just a simple program to represent this topic. Okay, so as usual, we just using the basic topic or basic program. We start with void that get data int a% id string a% name. This is the function for this program. So we will display enter id, and the user will enter the id, then display the name, and the user will enter the name. So in the main program, we will call the function, and we will display the id and the name that the user entered just before. So after that, it will display, and and the and the data we will execute, and we will display the program will display the data. So I will run this program and I will explain it. So I will enter an ID such as 243, and the name John. Then it will display the ID and the name that the user enter, and it will keep as the data at the function above. So this function it will directly access the data from the function. This program will directly access the data from the function. So basically that is my topic, and thank you for listening. I hope you will understand it. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. Hello, my name is Ahmad Fuad bin Muhammad Asri, and my student ID are 24327, and I will be presenting about array in C++ program. Okay. First of all, what we need to know about array are array allow us to store and work with multiple values of the same data type, and the value that are stored in array are stored together in a consecutive memory location. Array are best used in situations that are need for us to type in a lot of variables and data that we need to use which have the same data type. So this is an example of program that use array, which the program are used to calculate the salary of 5 workers when their salary are 200 plus 9% of their gross salary, and this program also find the highest and the average salary of the worker. Before using an array, first we need to declare the array. When we declare the array, there are three main things, which are the element type, for example integer, double or character, and then also the name, which depends on the user to put in whatever they want. For example, here for the code that I use, which are the gross salary, I put in gross, and the salary I put in the salary. And then the next thing are the size of the array, which are a constant number. When accessing the element of the array, we need to use the notation which have the names, bracket, the index number. The index number need to be lower than the source number. As I said before, an array stores the data together in consecutive memory location. For example, in this code, our salary array, which have the size of 5, we store the data in salary 0, salary 1, salary 2, salary 3, and salary 4. For us to put in the value of the array, we can use loop function. For example, I use the for loop to put the value inside the array. For the first loop, in this for loop, the I will be 0, and then we will get the first data, which are gross 0, and the salary 0, which are calculated by 200 plus 0.09 times with gross 0, and then the sum is calculated by sum equals sum plus salary 0. At this time, the sum is equal to 0. For the next loop, the I will be equal to 1, and we will get the value for gross 1 and salary 1, which is 200 plus 0.09 times with gross 1, and then the sum will be increased as the sum plus the salary 1. This process repeats itself until the I equal to 5, which is the statement will be not true for the for do loop, and the loop will be broke. And then the average is find by calculating sum over 5. To display the value, we also use for loop, which in this case it will display the salary of salesman, and then for the first I, which is I equal to 0, the salary 0 value, and then the the loop will repeat for I1, I2, I3, and I4, and all of the others value, like the highest and the average, which is the value are manipulated by set position to set the decimal places into decimal places. Okay, that's it. Let's try to run the program to check whether it's work. Okay, we put the values. Okay, right here we can see that the highest value is 231.06, and then the average salary are 213 and 0.27. Thank you for watching.